Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking Politics. I'm Nistula Hebbar, the political editor of the paper, and your host on a show where we go behind the scenes of happenings in domestic politics. Now, this is the day that I'm recording is the day that the results for the Bihar Assembly polls are finally out, and it's been a handsome victory for the NDA combination. Almost all constituents of the NDA have done quite well, including Nitish Kumar, who did quite badly in the last outing. What does this mandate have in terms of its implications will be the subject of this episode of Talking Politics. November 14th, we are recording this in the afternoon. Numbers are still coming in, but it is very, very clear that the NDA has posted a very, very handsome victory, almost as handsome as the one that they had posted in 2010 in Bihar. This is after 20 years of being at the helm. A big thumbs up for the NDA, including Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, who has been, with a slight absence in the middle, the chief minister throughout this two-decadal term. Now, what does this mean in terms of the political implications, both for Bihar and for these various constituents and for national politics at large? Now, let's start with the victors, that is the NDA. As per the latest figures, it seems that almost all constituents of the NDA have done well. Nitish Kumar, whose party had stuck at 43 seats, they had in fact almost lost 30 seats to the LJP, which had gone rogue in that election, in the 2020 election. They have made a massive, massive comeback. And there is a very strong kind of a government that is to be provided to the people of Bihar. Right off the bat, it would be very, very easy to say and honest to say that the Mahila vote or the women's vote is to be credited to a large degree for this victory. The fact that the NDA as a chemistry, as an alliance chemistry, worked very well on the ground and was supported by a large turnout by women who were loyal voters of the NDA and have been voting for Nitish Kumar and Prime Minister Modi in the past, kept faith with them and took them across the finish line in a very, very good fashion. All of this means that going into the future, this is a vote bank that the NDA can depend upon in BJP with other constituents in Maharashtra, but also, of course, in several other states where they might be going into polls pretty soon. What does this mean for the chief ministerial stakes? Now, last time around, even though Nitish Kumar was quite a few seats behind the BJP, he was still installed as chief minister as per the coalition dharma, but also because of the contextual nature of that particular mandate and the state of Bihar. Bihar has always been this outlier state where BJP hasn't been able to install a chief minister, northern state where it is the only northern state where the BJP hasn't had a chief minister. There was a feeling that maybe this time the BJP would, but it had been made very clear through this election that Nitish would remain as chief minister. But the BJP is still the single largest party. For the party, therefore, there is an opportunity of this middling liminal state of a state being between socialism and Hindutva, where social justice concerns are extremely important. And Hindutva is not a single overarching sort of a theme that will take you across the finish line, as it has done in the neighboring state of Uttar Pradesh in the past, means that the BJP needs Nitish Kumar and the JDU numbers, of course, to be in power, but also that a signal is given that social justice is extremely important for the BJP as well through the coalition, all the EBC, Mahadalit, other votes that they have got through their partners will be respected, and Nitish would continue as chief minister. But going into the future, it is an inflection point for the party to look ahead in terms of deeper growth. For Nitish Kumar's party, it has been kind of said that this could be his last election. there are worries going ahead. Even if Nitish becomes chief minister, there will always be some sort of a question mark on succession and what will happen in the future. The big winner in this NDA, apart from the BJP and the JDU, is of course Chirag Paswan of the Lok Janshakti Party. He negotiated and got the largest share among NDA constituents after JDU, 29 seats, and has won quite a good, about 50 to 60% strike rate as of now, as the counting is still going on in these elections. For him, he finally comes out of the shadow of his father in an assembly election. Last time around, he had demonstrated how not having him on his side could hurt you. This time, he has demonstrated that having him on side gives you that knock-on effect and makes a mandate even bigger. The Chirag Paswan's people had been saying in the past that Chirag is now aiming to be a Bahujan leader going ahead, maybe for the 2030 polls. That could well be a project for Chirag Paswan going ahead. Now, this is the party of the victorious, the NDA, whatever they do, they will be in government. The central government also remains strengthened because all the partners have done well. But what about the losers? In Tejashwi Yadav's RJD, knives are likely to come out soon. There was a division within the party over questions of people who were around Tejashwi Yadav, that he was not being advised well, being kept away from his family, etc. Congress has done pretty badly. It'll have to also again revisit what it is that it wants to convey to the voters as its vision statement and in terms of development, etc. Mukesh Sahni was a non-starter. There was a clear situation where there was an overreach on his behalf that he could be the deputy chief minister if the MGB came to power. For Tejashwi Yadav, though, there is another question that is there. Although, according to vote percentages, etc., it looks as though the RJD has managed to hold on to its own vote base of Yadavs and Muslims. It is very clear that they need to move beyond that in a manner that Akhilesh Yadav of the Samajwadi Party managed to do in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. The party needs to add back all of the smaller non-Yadav OBC parties which had deserted it with the advent of Nitish Kumar and bring them back into the Mandal fold of Yor. Will he be able to do it? That is the question that he will have to answer in the next 5 years, because this is an existential crisis for the RJD. Finally, what is it that the new entrant has ended up with? This is the Jan Suraj Party and Prashant Kishore. As of now, not a single seat and very low vote percentage. There was a lot of talk that he was cutting into votes of the NDA, not so much of the Mahagathbandhan, but looking at the way the numbers have come, it seems as though he did hurt the Mahagathbandhan deeply, mainly because he raised the right questions but clarified the answer in favor of the NDA. He talked about jobs, he talked about development, he talked about education and migration. But the voter, it seems, was very clear that yes, these are questions that are important to them. But in terms of the current fray, in terms of the current parties which were asking for votes, it was the NDA constituents who were most likely to deliver on those issues rather than a newcomer party like the JSP. A lot of people say that Prashant Kishore may have lost his mojo when he refused to fight the assembly elections, when he said, I'll just campaign and I'll have, my own candidates on the ground, but I will not be campaigning. A lot of people say that that is where he lost his mojo in terms of this election. But I happen to believe that startup parties or new parties usually ride the crest to power on the basis of a people's movement. You cannot separate the requirement for having a people's movement propel you to power. You had that in terms of Telugu Pride, the biggest startup that ever was, the Telugu Desam Party under NTR. This was in the 80s. And then Aam Aadmi Party, the latest one, which was propelled to power on the back of the India Against Corruption movement that happened in the mid 2012-13 period. So all of these lessons and implications are there for the various constituents in terms of lessons that they can learn, even the victors, because the BJP will still have to play the long game with regard to getting its chief minister at the helm of affairs in Bihar. But what about the implications for the state of Bihar long term? The state of Bihar and the people of Bihar, I feel, have been extremely clear with regard to the message that they want to give out to the political parties. They have chosen the alternative. They have said, no, we trust this particular set of people to deliver. But the kind of things that they want delivered is also important. For the last 20 years, we had fixed kind of a conversation around Jungle Raj, around roads and basic infrastructure. I think now, whichever way we look at it, Nitish Kumar and the NDA government there will have to answer on the question of jobs, employment, and opportunity, and to provide skilled people and others, the youngsters especially, opportunities within the state so that there is no longer a huge degree of outmigration from those states. The lesson that the country can take from Bihar and from Nitish Kumar's cultivation of the women's vote bank from his 2005 election onwards. Women are a vote bank that are loyal. They are also extremely pragmatic. You can do business with them. You can promise certain things. They will, if they like it, reward you with support. Women usually, when you do something for women in terms of public welfare, it is for the welfare of the entire family unit. They are less driven by caste identity politics and more by their concerns of everyday life. This is something that most political parties can learn from and inculcate into their own political program. More than anything, this is India's most politically experimental state. It has gone back to the party that was there to the alliance that was there before. They want their old chief minister back because they have decided that he is their best bet going forward. Even that has a lesson for the rest of the country. It's not always that a huge, large turnout at the hustings will ensure an anti-incumbency vote. Sometimes people just vote because they want to see the old guy back. So, this episode of Talking Politics is a very, very overall view on what I think were the main takeaways from the Bihar Assembly poll results. Thank you so much for watching. I shall see you next week.